Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Yokozo, 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 yokozo. I hope you are all well. I hope you are all good. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Stadia Monday Night Chat. Woo! We have a great show for you tonight. Of course we do. You say that every week. Yeah, of course. Well, of course I do. We're going to be looking at the Stadia news this week, giving it the whole Stadia Monday Night Chat spin. There's a world premiere from a brand new, barely known sitcom. At Home with the Stadians. More on that later, of course. But first, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to everybody in the chat who's watching this as a premiere. Thank you so much for being in the chat, watching this live. Much appreciated. Hopefully, I'm saying hello right now in the chat. Thank you for joining us tonight. Remember, as I say, to say hi to everyone. Make everybody feel welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Make everybody feel welcome. Let us know what games you've been playing, of course. Avail yourself to the super chats and all of those. Must mention, of course, special welcome to all the new members. Yes, yeah, it is a members channel, ladies and gentlemen. A special welcome to all the new members who joined last week. Some from last week's show especially. So a big shout out to you. If you want to join the channel members, come join us. Get some behind the scenes looks and some thoughts and stuff from my vlogs and all that. All you got to do is whack that join button. Boom, you're in. And if you are new, as I say, new to this show or new to this channel, hit subscribe. Toggle that notification button just like that. So you know when I go live with content like this. And hey, everybody, hit the likes because I like them. YouTube like them. And it helps people like you find content like this. Right then, enough crass commercialization and begging for social media approval and all of that, and money. Let's kick off and find out what we've been playing. So for me, make sure you put in the chat what you've been playing. It's always good to see. But for me, in the light of Hitman 3 being released, I thought I would go back to Hitman 1, which I've yet to complete. And I love the Hitman games. But I'm struggling. I'm in the wastelands of the US somewhere at the moment, but there are a hell of a lot of henchmen. And I'm not yet quite tried state share, but at the rate I'm going, I may have to just to get someone to show me how to complete this level. This is the great thing about state share, though. It got me thinking, and I can see it being really cool. I've already noticed, I know that Bill from Nerd Nest, if not seen Nerd Nest or not subscribed to Nerd Nest, check them out on YouTube. But Bill was, by all accounts, is a big fan of state share, and I spotted that Bill from Nerd Nest had been doing some live streams of Hitman using other people's state shares, so state shares that had been shared with him, basically. And I just thought that's such a cool idea for streamers and content creators. Take Dr. Disrespect, for instance, for whom Lord Kensal has a lot of respect. I saw he was doing speed runs of Hitman 3 last week. So this is a big game. Hitman 3 is a big AAA game. Day and date with Stadia, everybody, just to remind all those people out there. But the point is, it's a big game. It has had a fantastic critical reception. It's been extraordinary, really. And yes, it's 4K, 60 frames per second on Stadia. Of course it is. But imagine having someone like Dr. Disrespect doing state shares, sent in by his viewers, etc. You can really see the potential of state share when mixed with YouTube and Twitch and things like that. This really is further evidence of how Stadia have kind of recognized that people like to play games, stream games, and watch games. and how the integration of Stadia and YouTube is such a crucial part of the strategy, the overall Google Stadia strategy. And just as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, just as a reminder, let's see what Google or Sundar Pichai had to say about this way back then, way back in GDC 2019, ladies and gentlemen. Can you remember that? 2019. Let's see what they had to say, just as a reminder, what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. So this was from the original sort of Stadia launch statement from Google, March 2019. Let's just check out what they had to say.
I think we can change the game by bringing together the power and creativity of the entire community. People who love to play games, people who love to watch games, and people who love to build games. That means all of you. We are really excited to work with you. We want to build a platform. We want you to show us what's possible. And together, I think we can create a new games experience, powered by best of Google and built for everyone.
So there we are. That's just a reminder what this is all about. You know, Stadia always from the get-go, not as an add-on, not as an added extra, not as a nice to have, but always from the get-go. It was about the players, the viewers, and the content creators. And State Share for me is another example of, you know, I mean, it's not necessarily just about content creators and stuff like that, but it is a great tool for content creators and streamers to use, just like crowd choice, crowd play, and State Share. It just makes that kind of integration of the playing, the watching, and the creating around games so kind of integrated and so central to Stadia. And one of the many reasons Stadia will be and is going to be, it is an amazing success, quite frankly, and will be an amazing success. Anyway, I just thought sometimes it's worth reminding us what the original strategy and thinking is, so that we're kind of focused on that and, you know, remember the whole kind of raison d'etre of Stadia. Always worth it. So anyway, as I said, that clip was from GDC 2019. And remember, GDC 2021 is not far away. So those wondering about Stadia news or lack thereof, there isn't a lack of news, ladies and gentlemen, I think you'll find, and we'll more on that later anyway. But mark it down in your calendar, ladies and gentlemen. GDC will be coming in two forms this year, and it's worth noting what those forms are. So GDC this year, as I say, will be on March the 15th to 19th of 2021, and then there's a sort of the main developers conference in July. So, you know, just as a kind of a mental note, it's worth remembering those dates, because we're bound to get some sort of key Stadia updates and things like that and other information. So these are one of the many sort of key dates in the sort of the gaming industry that is worth bearing in mind. So there we go. No, it's not far away. We're talking about 5 or 6 weeks. So all I'm saying is plenty of opportunity for even more bigger news over the next few weeks, and definitely within the next 5 to 6 weeks. So there you go. Anyway, I also finally, not really news, but finally I got my son signed into the Chromecast Ultra here, and I had him playing Outcasters. You know, it's a game I know everyone loves, but I struggle with. And of course, him being a natural gamer, he was instantly curving those shots with pinpoint accuracy, like straight away, putting me to shame. But anyway, let me know what you've been playing in the chat, because I always like to know what people have been playing. Did you pick up any games in the recent Stadia Pro sale? Pretty good sale, to be honest. I am tempted. Are there any games you recommend other than the Ubisoft ones? Because I'm still waiting. Ubisoft. But anyway, let me know. Always love to see what you guys have been playing, of course. And of course, this weekend saw what we know is going to be a number of free weekends. Another one coming up in a minute. So did anyone try out Ghost Recon, any of that, or WWE Battlegrounds for the first time? Let me know. All of that, really interested. Did you pick up those games in the sale as well? Just put it in the chat. Let me know what you think. Maybe WWE Battlegrounds is something you weren't really going to buy, but you thought you give it a go. Did it change your mind? Anyway, enough of all that, ladies and gentlemen. Enough of all that. Let's get to the news. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It's coming home. It's coming home. Football's coming home. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a football game is coming. It's coming to Stadia, more than likely. And no, it's not FIFA. Oh. Spotted on the ESRB certification page was this, ladies and gentlemen. So here it is. Street Power Football has been rated for Windows PC, PlayStation 4, Stadia, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. In-game purchases on the Stadia. Users interact on the Stadia. Certificate E. Street Power Football, ladies, from Maximum Games. Street soccer game in which players compete throughout different playgrounds around the world. Players can engage in a variety of game modes. Street King, Trick Shot, Freestyle to improve and earn experience, ladies and gentlemen. So let me know whether, it looks a kind of fun sort of game. As I say, no guarantee that this game is in fact coming, but it certainly looks a sort of fun game, easy game. Again, another one for the kids as well, maybe. Or the kids like playing FIFA as well. But as I say, the normal caveat here applies. There's no guarantee, but it is highly probable, since it's been rated, that it's coming to Google Stadia very soon. So I guess, if you don't want to pay out for a FIFA license, just recreate the games we used to play as kids. If you're from the UK, let me know if you remember playing things like Wembley in the park with your mates, or three and in, I think I used to call it as well, where, put it in the chat, where you'd have like one person in goal and you say 3 players against each other trying to score, and the first of 3 wins and then they go in goal. Or headers and volleys was a classic, I remember. Anyway, it looks a sort of fun kind of game. Let me know if you still used to play those games. I used to play those games all the time. I like back in my house used to be a soccer field. Football field, ladies and gentlemen, but for the American audience, the soccer field. And we were always playing, my sort of 3 or 4 mates were going out there playing 3-in-1 or Wembley or headers and volleys and stuff. So let me know in the chat whether that's the sort of thing that you used to do. I'm just kind of curious about that. Now, talking of coming home, or maybe I should do it in an American accent. It's coming home. It's coming home. Football's coming home. Oh, yeah, baby. Maybe it actually is if you're into American football rather than soccer. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Madden21 on Stadia is announced with an actual date, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, with an actual date. Let's check it out. So, as you'll see from the press release here, this is a press release from EA. Ladies and gentlemen, a press release from EA. Fans can continue to play out their 2021 Pro Bowl with the official rosters in Madden NFL 21. Also, from January the 28th to 31st, so basically this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend, a trial of the complete Madden NFL 21 experience will be free to players across all platforms, including Stadia. And qualification for the idiots who don't know, Google's gaming platform that lets players instantly play their favorite video games on screens they already own. Nice little use of the sort of tagline there. Anyway, EA is launching Madden NFL 21 on Stadia this Thursday, making it the first game developed on the Frostbite engine released on the engine. Interesting. This could be opening up other games on Frostbite. Modern NFL 21 on Stadia will reach more players where they play, adding to the list of platforms where the game is available. After the free trial is over, the game will continue to be available on Stadia for those who buy it, and the Madden NFL 21 Superstar Edition will be 60% off across all platforms until February the 8th, ladies and gentlemen. Until February the 8th. So there we go. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, finally, Madden 21 is coming to Stadia. Not only is it coming to Stadia, it's coming with a free weekend. Yeah, a free weekend. And 60% off. A sort of a proper try before you buy offer there. That's not bad. I know the title is late, But I think it's a pretty good deal for a launch on Stadia. You know, first time on Stadia, and it gets a free weekend, ladies and gentlemen. A free weekend.
You're joking. Not another one? Oh, for God's sake, I can't stand this.
Yeah, Brenda, I know. Another free weekend. Who'd have thunk it? Maybe FIFA is not far behind. Who knows? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, in other news, now, Pikuniku has been moved to the 2nd of February. And the publisher cheekily put out a tweet saying that they were running scared of the Hitman 3 launch. Well, come here. I know why. Pikuniku has moved. Yeah? This is why.
Time. Target removed.
Oh, yeah. You saw it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Shh. Anyway, in other news, ladies and gentlemen, Resident Evil. A Resident Evil crossover comes to the Division 2, ladies and gentlemen. And there's even a little trailer here, ladies and gentlemen. Make a note of the logo in front, just so. So this is a Stadia-specific logo. Just take that down. There we go. Take the sound down a bit so you can hear what I'm saying. Stadia-specific logo, ladies and gentlemen. And as I say, it's a crossover. With various kind of characters and skins that you can get for your skins, I guess you get for the character. That's the whole point of it anyway. So Capcom had a showcase on the 21st with kind of the new Resident Evil Village announcements. And as part of that, they talked about this 25th anniversary event. Now, please note, ladies and gentlemen, the trailer was Stadia labeled. Yeah, it was a Stadia labeled trailer. Just saying that trailer was Stadia labeled. It wasn't a general Division 2 trailer. Yeah, and it's coming on, the crossover is coming to other platforms, but it was one that they'd made especially for Stadia. That's all I'm saying. They top-ended it and tail-ended it with the Stadia logo, of course. Of course, as I said, this comes from the big Capcom press release launch around Resident Evil Village that was earlier this week. And more on that later. Before we get to that, of course, hey, you know, at the end of January, you know what that means? Yes, Pro Games. Pro Games, ladies and gentlemen, get announced this week. Probably, given the normal form of things, probably tomorrow. Yeah? If in the UK, around about 5 or 6 p.m. Over in California, around about 9 a.m. in the morning, or whatever time it is. But the Pro Games look like are going to be announced this week, either tomorrow or Thursday, probably the latest. So, Pro titles for February, as I say, announced this week. So, is there some news? You know, there's more news. More news, I'd say. Sorry for the Stadia news hungry demons out there. Give me news. I need the news. Not enough news. The homunculi, for those Full Metal Alchemist fans there. Yeah. Stadia news. I'm going to call them the Stadia news homunculi. Yeah. Any bets on the Pro titles? Yeah. Let me know in the chat what Pro titles you think they are. I'm assuming, for me, I'm not sure it's going to be any of the indie titles that were in the sale, the Pro sale just gone. Yeah, like Rain or something like that, which you would have thought could be a Pro title. I just don't think they'd put it on sale and then stick it straight into Pro. So I think you can discount those being Pro. Could we see FIFA coming Pro? That would be a big drop. That would be like a drops mic moment, wouldn't it? Don't get your hopes up. I'm just going out there on that one, just out there on that one. But could we see that? I don't know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time, as I say, to reveal, and this is a hot exclusive just for you guys, absolutely hot exclusive just for you guys, a reveal, ladies and gentlemen, of an exclusive. Now, not many people know about this brand new sitcom. It's a brand new sitcom. A sitcom, Clive? What's that got to do with Stadia, ladies and gentlemen? Well, my curious friends, my questioning and curious friends, let me enlighten you. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the world premiere of At Home with the Stadians, ladies and gentlemen. At Home with the Stadians. Oh, not again. Finally. I thought Stadia Baby would never stop crying. I know, dear. It's been a difficult first year. Yeah, but, you know, it's the slightest little thing triggers him. Are other console babies like this? He just has to learn. You know, he's growing up very fast. I know, but it's been tiring. Well, at least Stadia Baby is happy now. Yeah. How did you finally get him to stop crying? New formula. Yeah. It's a combination of things, you know, like AAA games being announced coming to Stadia day and date, like Assassin's Valhalla, Marvel's Avengers, Far Cry 6, Hitman 3, and of course Cyberpunk, which is breathtaking. Destiny going free to play, the promise of more than 400 games coming next year, Stadia app to iOS, direct streaming to YouTube, family share, and so many other goodness crammed in there. You know what? I think Stadia Baby's finally grown up. Yeah. I think we've got over that difficult teething stage. Stadia Baby's learning that, you know, things come good. Just give it time. Listen to that. Thank God. Peace. Peace at last. I'll get it. What is it, Stadia Baby? Resident Evil. It's got no Stadia logo at the end. No Stadia logo. Google don't care. Google don't care. Stadia's dead. No Stadia logo, Resident Evil. There's no Stadia logo on it. Wow. I, for one, can't wait for more episodes. I hope it gets a 13-episode commission. Woof! So, obviously, as I alluded to earlier, let me know what you think about that. It took me ages to do. Anyway, as I alluded to earlier, Capcom had a showcase for Resident Evil Village and, shock horror, no Stadia logo at the end. Now, of course, yes, it would have been cool to see the Stadia logo at the end. Yes, of course it would. No one's denying that. Nobody in the room is denying that would have been kind of cool. Right? Fine. Is it the end of the world? Is it the end of the world as we know it? No. Should you suddenly be hit by a bout of amnesia and forget everything that's ever happened to Stadia in the last 4 to 5 months with so much stuff coming and has been outlined, and then you overreact and throw your toys out of the pram? No. Is Resident Evil Village coming to Stadia, Clive, though? More than likely. We know there was the Capcom leak from last year that all but confirmed as much, yeah? Potentially Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8, The Village, yeah? Where there was a payment of $10 million from Stadia. And that information was leaked in the Capcom papers last year. We know that. They didn't just give them $10 million just because they're like, oh yeah, here's a bung. Yeah? It's for something in return. So we can be expecting a raft of Resident Evil titles coming to Stadia. I'm sure of it. The Capcom logo was one of the prominent logos behind Phil Harrison there in the 2019 presentations and in the 2020 connects. Yeah? So chill. It's coming. My general feeling around this is we probably expect a Stadia Connect of sorts in the next few weeks. Why? Because I think we're due one. And John Justice sort of hinted that they'd be making some announcements in the next few weeks, and this was like just before December. Now, one of which was probably the LG television thing and the Stadia app coming to LG televisions, because in the interview with The Escapist, he did talk at length about making the app available on TVs and things like that, and devices that people own. So big game announcements like Resident Evil would be great for a Kinect. But anyway, my main point of contention here, as it often is really, when I go on these rants, are not about people getting kind of upset or disappointed about things that Stadia do. I'm not like defending everything they do. My point of contention is, as I say, it's not so much the disappointment expressed around not seeing the Stadia logo at the end of Resident Evil Village trailer. That's fine. I think you can accept there's been disappointment. That's a shame. I thought we knew it was coming to Stadia. Oh, well, perhaps it will come to Stadia later. Correct response. Yeah? Oh, I'm mildly disappointed. Perhaps it will come later, given on the information we know. Yes, I am telling you how to behave and think, just for the better of the world. My real bone of contention is more the overreaction, yeah, and the toy throwing from the cot in some within the Stadia community. There was I had a moment there, some sort of deja vu from last year. You know, the way that people were reacting at every little thing last year, because there was sparse news, especially this time last year. But at the time we said, don't worry, chill, man. Well, I certainly did, and I've been saying all last year. Stop getting your knickers in a twist. Stadia will come. Stadia will come good, and they did. At the end of the last year, we saw it the last few months. Yeah, you would have thought that people now would have learnt that. Would learn. Oh yeah, I've just got to be patient, haven't I? Yeah, they'd be more in tune with the way Stadia do things, and that they do come good on their promises. And judging by the frenzy of activity we had in the last few months of 2020. I thought that we as a community have moved on from the whole, yeah, Google's not taking the games business seriously stupidity, since it's been disproved by their actions over the last year, time after time after time. Just put this all in context, and this January as well, and the so-called lack of news. But you've not been listening to what I said earlier. Lack of news. Let me take you back to Reddit in January 2020. Check this out. This was one of the most upvoted Reddit posts of all time. It's not the most upvoted, but one of the most upvoted. 9.5K. This was sort of about this time. So this was posted on January the 27th, Monday, January the 27th, 2020, right? Which is approximately exactly 12 months ago, yeah? This Monday, 12 months ago is the way to look at it. Stadia has gone 40 days without... I'm going to do it in a silly voice as well, just to wind people up. Stadia's officially gone 40 days without a new game announcement, release, feature update. No, in fact, I'm not going to do a silly voice, because at the end he says, let's be more sensible about it. So I will be sensible. Stadia has officially gone 40 days without a new game announcement, release, feature update, or real community update. It's been out for 69 days. It's time we demand better. Now that everyone's renewal date is approaching, so this was sort of your 3-month initial trial for Pro if you were a founder or a Premier Edition owner from the 19th of November, so from the launch date of Stadia in 2019. Now that everyone's renewal date is approaching, I think it's time we outline the issues, borrowing from another post of mine. All right, you're a bit of a moaner then, Gazoogle. And attempt to get some sort of response from the Google team that inspires more confidence than what we've seen so far. So where do we stand? And then there's a whole list of here. As expected, there haven't been any further updates in January after the 120 game mystery bonanza, other than the February Pro games, which we still don't know. We're still supposedly 2 months out of knowing 4K on the browser has come. 120 games, but not revealed, coming, but none revealed so far. They all came. Pixel phones remain as on other Androids. No mention of iOS. Finally, it came to iOS. No mention of Stadia. Stadia's free now. Still no mention of family. Family sharing is available. Still no acknowledgement that they've read or been listening to the community or planned better in community. They did improve their communication. Daily updates scrape for weekly updates. Oh, they still do weekly updates. Anyway, the main issue, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes to put here, which was quite funny. Hopefully I post this and the Stadia team announces the next update right after and I get egg on my face. And he put here, they did. Basically a week later, they announced they had some bigger announcements. But in fairness, in retrospect, despite me being sort of slightly, jokey about the post, in retrospect, he was probably right. There was a distinct lack of news, but that's partly because Stadia didn't have any. They were still working on stuff, yeah? And whilst it's disappointing, you can't sort of say, oh, we got lots of great stuff for you. What is it? Well, I can't tell you. And that's kind of where they were that time last year. They didn't really have enough, yeah? But they say, as you say, we are so far, cut to 12 months later, yeah, 12 months later from this Reddit post, we are so far from this scenario. They say the past is another country. That's what this feels like. And yet there's still a little sprinkling in the community. Yeah, still a little sprinkling in the community. Whining. Yeah, I said it. Whining. But that is what it is. Whining like it was January 2020. Whilst I did think at the time the post from 2020 was a little presumptuous and impatient, although in retrospect probably fair, I was just slightly more patient. I knew there would be some stuff coming. People just needed to chill their pants a bit. But in fairness, there were elements of validity in that post. And as I say, it was one of the most upvoted posts last year. And in retrospect, the silence was deafening at the time until the following week. But it's not like that anymore, people. Have you learnt nothing? We know that now. Stadia and Google really got their act together. Now, in fairness, I'd say the majority of the Stadia community were pretty cool with the Capcom announcement. Disappointed? Yeah, maybe. But cool? Yeah. Because they know it's more than likely coming to Stadia for all the reasons mentioned. And are cool with this in terms of Stadia. This is the way. For this is the way. This is the Stadia way. This is the way. Correct response. But my message to the Stadia babies, if you're one of them, yeah, is have a lollipop and grow up. Yeah? Enjoy the pro games announced later this week, yeah? Probably tomorrow. Plus the 3 launches due over the next week. So we've got Tohu, yeah? We've got on the 28th, we've got Gods Will Fall on the 29th. We've got Pikuniku on February the 2nd. We've got Madden, ladies and gentlemen. Madden coming out this week. Yeah? So my takeaway for all of you is it's the 4th week of January. We've had 12 months. We have 12 months ahead of us with 400 games in development targeted for the next 12 months or so. So don't start being naive and start judging Stadia in 2021 after 3.5 weeks. Let the actions of Stadia over the last few months and the promise from what Stadia have said be proof and be a path of what is to come. Remember, as I said, GDC in March, E3 in June, and so much more in between. And it is worth reminding those people saying there's been a dearth of news. There's been a dearth of news, Clive. There's been no news, Clive. In January, we've already had the release of State Share, a massively popular game in Hitman 3, Madden21 coming out, a free weekend and 60% off it, Scott Pilgrim, the new game announced, Pikuniku coming, plus all those other games coming, the LG TV announcement, the Stadia Pro sale, the other free weekend we've just had with 2 games. It's hardly been quiet for a January. If we're honest, it's ticked over pretty nicely. For a January, all will be good. Be patient, be cool, and just play some games. There are enough bloody games to choose from, for Christ's sakes now. Not like last year. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. That's my rant. That's my thing. I hope you enjoyed At Home with the Stadians. More of that to come. And lots of things like that. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching this live as a premiere. If you're catching up later, thank you as well. Remember to hit the likes. And if you are new here and you like this kind of nonsense, in which we endeavour to make sure that we inform, educate and entertain you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I have succeeded in doing that. I hope you've had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please hit the likes, share with your friends. If you are new here, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you know when I go live with content like this. And a big thank you for all my members for being members, and I'll see you around all very soon. Goodbye.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.